page turners, welcome back to the channel. I'm Matthew, the man with a hat who reads. And this is Zod Wallop by William Browning Spencer. Where do I even begin? I was not originally planning to do a review for this book. I picked this up about 9 months ago or so. It was last fall. I picked up in my local half-price books, namely because the title caught my eye. It was on the shelf like this, and I was like, Zod Wallop, what the heck is that? And I pulled it out, I read the synopsis, and I'll share it with you right away. And I thought, okay, that sounds interesting. It was, I think, $3.99. I was like, that's not terrible. I'm going to give it a shot. Because it looked brand new. And it said it was a dark fantasy, and I was like, okay, why not? I'll give it a shot. And so then when I was looking to put my July TBR together, I was pulling out a lot of random stuff that I've had either here for a while or just, I went really random. If you saw the TBR video, you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of random stuff in there. But I picked this one up early. And I have thoughts. Here's the synopsis for those of you who want to know that. Harry Gainsborough, ex-writer of children's books, just wants to be left alone, but the world, several worlds actually, won't let him. Raymond Story, escaped from Harwood's psychiatric and now married to Emily, a catatonic girl that Raymond declares is the frozen princess, has enlisted some of his fellow psychiatric patients and is intent on saving the world with Harry's help. Nonsense, of course, but a railwing, a nasty sort of flying stingray that Harry invented for his book, appears to have eaten the paint from the roof of Harry's car. The ruthless executive of a large pharmaceutical company bears an unsettling resemblance to Zod Wallop's evil Lord Draining, and a hotel in Florida could be about to host the end of the world. Okay. So I was reading that synopsis out. Wow, that's a lot to unpack in this very slim volume. It's just like, what, 360 pages? Yeah, 360 pages. That's a lot to unpack. I don't know if they can pull it off, but we'll give it a shot and see. And guys, I gotta admit, I was blown away by this. This was fantastic. You could say I was Zod Walloped. I was just knocked silly by this book, and I don't even know how to explain it. When I picked it up, I thought, okay, let's give it a shot. I think I read like 60 pages the first day. I couldn't put it down. I flew through this in like 3 or 4 days. I just devoured this thing. And there's just so much about it. I mean, I was partially worried that, okay, we have a bunch of psychiatric patients. I don't know about this. This could go really badly. I mean, they could be offensive stuff in here of how they're treated in the story or whatnot. I was worried. I had nothing to worry about because these characters are so well handled. And even though they have some problems with health, it's not their fault. I admit that. It doesn't treat it like they have a problem. It treats these characters like, yes, they are people, and yes, they can function just fine, thank you very much, which was really kind of nice, because some stuff would not depict characters like that in that way. It also kind of blurs the lines on that, like, okay, who do these people who are in the psychiatric hospital really need to be there, or are they more sane than the people on the outside? There's a whole bunch of that to think about and unpack with this. The book is like surprisingly funny, like very funny at times. The opening chapter is a wedding, and it's an outdoor wedding in April, and then it starts blowing strong wind and hats and chairs are flying around. Then it's pouring rain. All of a sudden a monkey shows up. I guess the monkey is the ring bearer. I mean, it gets weird in like all the best ways. It's hilariously funny. And also just the fact that it really looks like grief and how we handle grief and how we deal with grief. Our main character, Harry, kind of wrote Zod Wallop while he himself was in this psychiatric hospital because his daughter drowned And that kind of tore his marriage apart. And then he's in this psychiatric hospital and he wrote this story. Very dark version of the story that some of these other people in the hospital got a hold of and are treating it like it's freaking gospel truth now. And when he got out, he rewrote it more for like a children's audience. But it's, in doing that, he kind of dealt with the grief in his own way, but he didn't deal with it the way he should have dealt with it. So it's like really deconstructs how we look at grief and how we deal with grief. The fantasy elements are all good. Again, it blends like fantasy and the real world almost seamlessly. So you're not exactly sure if the fantastical elements are real or if it's in their heads, which I loved about it because it's like really deconstructing that. And I don't want to spoil anything, but the ending does something that I thought when it happened, I was like, oh, okay. But then as I thought about it, I thought, no, that was actually a really good ending on how they ended it. I don't want to say any more than that because I don't want to spoil it, but I was just blown away by this book because this book is 30 years old. It's not new by any means. It was published in 1995. I would have been 6 when this thing was published. And I have never heard of the author. I've never heard of this book. It doesn't sound like it's been read very much by Goodreads standards, but the reviews that are on there almost unanimously are talking about how great this book was. Some people mention it's one of their favorites of all time, and I can see that. Because I did not expect to enjoy this as much as I did. I almost wanted to start over again when I got finished. And I never have that happen with a book. Where it gets done and I'm ready to just pick it up and start over. But I was with this one. I have a feeling this one's going to become a very fondly loved book in my collection. I didn't expect that when I picked it up. This was a 5-star read. I absolutely enjoyed this to no end. I was sad to see it end, but I was also happy because I thought I can start over again. And I really, really loved this. And I'm definitely going to be checking out more from William Browning Spencer if I can find any, because this was fantastic. Highly recommend. And that's my thoughts on Zod Wallop. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Have you read this book or even heard of it? I'd love to hear if you have. Or if it sounds good to you, I would love to hear your thoughts on it in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep turning pages.